What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. After Sound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here in this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. All right, guys, I want to talk about something that I'm very excited about, and keep in mind, this is speculation, and I've definitely discussed it before, but seeing as we are now less than a day away from the next season, the first season of September, we'll call it, I'm excited about the fact that SPS rewards are going to go up, and potentially up a significant amount. Now, what do I mean by that? I'm going to break it down. We're going to look at Wild first, and then Modern, and then actually, there's going to be probably some crossover and overlap between the two that's going to have some impact. So I'll get to that at the very end. But we'll start with Wild because there's two elements here that are coming into play. The first of which is that the Wild Season Pass will no longer be available in vouchers, right? You can't pay for it in vouchers. It's going to only be DEC. So yes, we're going to create more demand on DEC. I don't know how significant it's going to be, but the price is going to be significantly higher, considering that DEC is like 30% below its peg, whereas vouchers have traditionally been anywhere from like 70 to 90% below their intended peg, right? In terms of what they're valued at for the Wild Season Pass. So with that being said, there might be a lot of accounts, especially those that are trying to min-max and, get some kind of ROI. There might be quite a few accounts that decide not to play until maybe SPS rewards increase, or we see, maybe DEC come down, right? The numbers just won't make sense, and we'll see a lot of them go offline, which means less accounts dipping into the pool, right? A 360 energy for each of those 3,000 accounts, right? Imagine if all of a sudden, like a third of them decided to go offline. Well, all of a sudden you have that many games, right, that are no longer being played, and those wins not being paid out. So I think that could actually have a huge impact for Wild format. Now, to compound this, and this is where things are the same between both Wild and Modern, vouchers will no longer be able to be used for energy either, right? So not just the Wild Season Pass, but for energy. And you can see here, right, if you look at Wild, it's much more egregious here, where the top accounts are playing 1,500 battles, right? Look at this, 1,500, over 1,000. You get 360 energy per season on average, right? So some of these accounts are playing, I don't know, what's the quick math on this? 4 times as many battles. And not only that, they are some of the top earning accounts, right? They have a ton of SPS, meaning that they pull so much from the reward pool, right? So what am I trying to get at here? Someone like Vunctus, for example, if he's playing 700 more games or 1,000 more games than somebody who's ranked at my level, right, where I'm winning 4 SPS per game, all of a sudden, he's winning 30 plus or 15 plus SPS, whatever it is, right? He's pulling that much more out of the reward pool. And unless the numbers make sense, right, where DEC, and again, we're going to push that demand to DEC, which is fantastic. But unless DEC, the DEC cost for energy, which is 500, is higher than whatever they're making, they're probably not going to be playing as many battles. So you're going to have less accounts overall, and then less battles being played by the top accounts that were earning enough to cover the cost of energy, right? If we take a look here at Modern, this is not going to, it's not going to be as high, but still significant, right? 600, 500, 700, like these are all the top accounts that are earning and pulling a ton of SPS out of the pool every single time that they play and win. And even though, maybe it's only like, 2 to 3 times as many battles, that many battles coming down because the ROI doesn't make sense is going to add a lot of SPS back into the pool, meaning that it's going to be more per win, right? So to me, again, all this stuff is going to normalize out, but for someone like myself, and I'll go back to Wild just to show you guys the example, right? The amount of SPS that goes out per win should increase, right? And hopefully a significant amount. But for someone like myself that's only playing like 400 to 500 battles per season, versus somebody that's playing literally 1,000 more than me, now all of a sudden it's just going to be distributed in a little bit of I don't want to say an equal way, but there's going, like when I go in and I win a battle, there's going to be more SPS, and therefore whatever my proportion is for the amount of reward shares and how all of that stuff works out, all the calculations, that's going to pull in from a larger pool, which ultimately I think is going to be more beneficial for everybody involved. Now, the cool thing is, as we go through this, right, if demand for DEC continues to increase and we get DEC back up to peg, and then all of a sudden we get the flywheel kicked off because there's not enough DEC around and people are starting to burn, SPS for DEC, SPS starts to go up in value, and then we get this fun life spiral, which I've talked about. Now, just to close the video out, I mentioned that there could be some overlap between the two, and where I think things could get interesting is probably going to be to the detriment of Modern versus Wild, because if a lot of accounts don't find it, with the new cost for the Wild Pass, if they don't find it, the ROI positive for them to play in Wild, and I'm not talking about botted accounts, right? Actual people. If it's not ROI positive or ROI neutral, they may end up moving to Modern, which would mean more people picking out of the Modern, or dipping into the Modern pool. So that's where the impact could happen. Again, I don't have any plans of playing in Modern for solely that reason, right? If I go to Modern, it might just be for fun because I have more of the Modern, or not Modern, but the Rebellion reward cards, and I feel like I can be a little bit more competitive, right? But again, that's just me. I'm probably going to end up staying in Wild for most of the season, even with a 2,000 DEC fee. So just wanted to share some of those thoughts with you again as we round the corner here to the end of this current season, and hopefully what will be a very exciting new path forward for Splinterlands, sans vouchers, kind of just dragging the entire economy down. And I've talked about this at length. I made a video about, the Chaos Legion era coming to an end. That was a big part of this, but, actually seeing this in action and seeing the impact that it could potentially have in terms of rewards could be significant, right? And who knows, maybe we get to a situation where all of a sudden the SPS rewards go up so much, right? Because there's a lot of accounts that just aren't playing and dipping in, that Kesfrin and Vugtus and Zowie still decide that, hey, the amount of SPS that I'm winning right now is higher than, in terms of value, is higher than the value that I'm paying for burning DEC for energy rather than vouchers. And then they start burning a ton of DEC, and we slowly eat through the DEC excess and, get the flywheel kicked off that way. But again, that's just wishful thinking. Let's hope it actually plays out that way. But that is all I have for you guys in this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll catch you all in the next one and see you around the game. Take care.